What's going on, guys? This is Fennec Factual tuning back in. Wanted to drop like a general freestyle commentary. I may or may not upload this video, kind of depending on what topics I drift into, over the course of, potentially 30 minutes to an hour. Um, there's a lot to say. A lot of it starts with me in a sense. At the same time, the community speaks for itself. I think there's a lot of value I'm trying to drive into the concept of Fennec itself, and there's already plenty of value there in the sense that, in my opinion, a phenomenal group and foundation have been set for what could be an unprecedented kind of growth rate, sophistication rate of development, any of that kind of stuff. Like I think the mining pool that we could make and that we're planning on making, we've got a few people that we're in touch with who have no problem setting these kind of things up, seeing how we start with a simpler interface and capacity, kind of expanding from there, depending on community sentiment and general adoption of that pool. In addition to that, well, let me see. Let's check this out. So let's really get into it, guys. That is what I would like to do. We have a few of the competing pools. It's a lofty goal, I would say, to replace one of these. But I would say, if I can move this, let me see. There's like an invisible recording bar here that I need to move temporarily. Let's see. So we don't have a miner count for this platform at the moment that I can see. So I don't use our plant very much at all. I mean, I probably used it a couple times in my life. Now, they did delist Fennec at one point. We were in kind of a, well, I already know it was a pretty dormant time for Fennec at different points, but I would say my lifestyle, in conjunction with my living situation and many other things, have been aligned. And I think a lot of people tuning into this, they're going to be the base community, like the essential people, But in addition to that, because look, it's July 7th of 2024. We're looking to have timestamps that can be a testament to our progress, and I'm really excited about what's to come. So with this pool, we have a lot of different coins available. Many of them are low market cap, newly launched kind of coins that people like to mine. They have a decent interface here, but I think honestly they could tune up on the aesthetics standpoint. So there's a lot to consider with trying to create a competing pool. I guess promising it outright and trying to say that a new pool offshoot that represents and supports Fennec, for that to be successful, that's a lofty goal, but it's an aspiration of ours. And I'm very excited to know that we have a handful of people behind us who are willing to, develop these things and are more than capable of creating, surely some of the standard coin pools with more conventional mining algorithms. In addition to that, I would say the feasibility and the affordability of starting one is very promising at the moment for what we have accessible. And, in addition to that, I guess a closing kind of statement about this concept would be that I guess if we look at our pool and if a handful of people are going to be developing a universal mining pool that developed this pool, look at the interface, look at the aesthetics of this, look at how smooth it flows. And then if we go to the miner tab, we can monitor the progress of any particular wallet. If we look at one of the top performers right now, their hash rate is stable. We monitor that. We have a handful of stats down here, recently mined earnings, and I guess the different nodes that this miner is connected to, as well as their hash rate, their net hash rate, which is, fairly impressive over here, I would say, compared to at least the capacity of the hardware that I currently have. Now, as we scale up, I might look into defending the chain and, essentially, I guess defending would be the wrong word, but supporting and, improving the net sophistication or the net robust capability of the network to defend itself from a potential 51% attack. So, in brief, that would be my goal as we grow to scale. I think I would enjoy it, to be honest with you. I don't have a particular need for Fennec, but as it becomes affordable, it would be an engaging process for me personally. And I would like to create content about mining Fennec, at a competitive, affordable rate to add that into, the situation and, to kind of equip miners with some additional information. So I wanted to touch on this. We're looking at Zerg Pool now. A really nice component of Zerg Pool, as you can see here, our plan has a general template. If we scroll down for configuring to any particular network, we're going to go with AI Power Grid. I remember those guys. So let's see. We scroll down, we go to Connect tab. They're going to have all the relevant info here, which is great. We're going to include that as well in our pool. There's a lot to take in from this, a lot of information, and I think honestly the Fennec pool doesn't require as much of it, but it would definitely help. So there is some room for improvement in terms of the individual mining tab, but I think honestly if we looked at a particular miner, it would look very similar. Some of the stats here are implied with the general pool because this is a one coin pool only. And I would say because of that, there's not as much of a need for all this other stuff. People already know a lot about, well, let me go back. All these kind of details are already available on the site. The site is linked within the pool right here. We're going to have the updated site set up with the same URL, so it will redirect you right there. One thing I wanted to mention, I'm not sure if we can add this in, but I would love to have it. So you can choose what kind of algorithm you want and the payout currency. So you literally can get any blue chip or any other coin available in their pool from a target coin. These would be the coins that you're actually mining, and then there's software that will sell those coins on the open market and will actually pay you out in a different particular cryptocurrency. So it allows you to set everything up here, and then below you've got the generated phrase that you would need to put into the relevant software that runs with this pool. So Zerg pool has Fennec. Let's see if we can find like a Fennec tab. Just one sec. Let's see, miners, and we go CC miner. Where's it at? Maybe they're not using it here. There we go. Let's see, the one CC miner. There's only one miner doing it. Let's see. If we go to YesCrypt R16, probably gonna find Fennec, I would assume. So see if we can pull up coins under that algorithm. That might be a way to do it. Nope, it's just gonna select it. So I don't want to waste too much time on this, guys. We're here for the commentary, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna be reviewing meticulously many of the features available on these universal multi pools, so that we can kind of lock in on the most useful and user-friendly kind of pool. I recognize that aesthetics need to be prioritized beneath order and functionality, but I think we can work a lot of their material into a pool that's formatted with this, sort of font, sort of color scheme. And I think it would be a much nicer interface. And additionally, like the screen is very bright. If we go with a black drop, I think it'd be nice. Look, there's a lot to discuss, right? Hold on a sec. Let me see. All right, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to check that. Hold on a sec. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So, guys, there's a lot to go into. I mean, look, we're going to feature one of my most endeared partners and their entity, Fennec Production here, right? Like, you've got to realize, as we build as a brand, the brand promotion and endorsement is here. This should not be considered a value driving factor of the Fennec coin or the native chain itself, but the fact that this has been built out for a community that has, essentially at the moment, not that it really makes a huge difference in my mind, it's basically an indicator of community engagement and development, but we're looking at like a $40,000 to $60,000 market cap, if I'm not mistaken. We're gonna pull up on ZegX's new interface, the V2 beta testing version of their platform, right? Which is a huge deal in and of itself. If I were to go off on that, I mean, they're really growing. They've got a lot of different features on here, and I love the way that they're designing this platform at the moment. It to me resembles a T2 exchange, tier 2, which is considerable for Fennec to be listed on, right? So we're gonna go to spot markets. We're gonna go to all assets. This is great because they have like a profile for every particular asset. So I want to pull up Fennec. We're looking at a $77,000 market cap. So a little better than I expected. I thought 40 to 60, but still, even at this valuation, guys, you look at the historic chart, this should be a metric of value being brought to the Fennec community and that the Fennec community is making use of, right? So if we go to all, I think it's already listed here. Yeah. So, at the moment, I wouldn't say that this is something that would entice the wrong type of community member, investor, speculator, anything like that. We're looking at a very opportune moment for the right holders. And a portion of my motivation to make this video was to inform the people about the general value scheme, I guess I would say, when I refer to that, I'm speaking about schematics, right? So I guess that's like a derivative word of it. We're looking at the value schematics of Fennec. So, like I said in a previous video, we have a lot of Fennec on the exchange that I would encourage the community to move off. But at the same time, you look at these stats, especially like the volume stats. Our volume is not significant, consistent at the moment, but it does come and go, no doubt, as people hear and want to get involved. But look, we have people hanging out here that have built incorporations and real groups of people that are motivated to do something considerable in terms of just having a revenue stream that can build a strong liquidity base for a project like this. And I'm really excited about that. So, with that said, there's an array of different products, and they're looking to go into the children's entertainment sector, which I really love because it gives an ethical implication and a nice touch to the entire entity. So even if we just look into this, right, they've produced a collector's edition variety of their first book. They have, a published book. Look, we have the Fennec logo right here, Fennec Productions, fully endorsing our brand and our entity. A lot of interesting snippets of the book itself. They have a map. They have a whole storyline that goes into this. They don't have much on the book itself. I think they have the content concealed, but all of the relevant like outside pages, the authors, info about them. And then here we go. So we've got a certificate of authenticity for every particular, copy of this collector's edition. So in my mind, as the brand grows, as we get, more underway, and, that's speaking in terms of momentum for revenue streams, as well as, more insightful members of the community. This is a very, very solid base to work with, guys. Like if you're looking at a project that is, essentially at an all-time low kind of metric, and we have all this in place. This website, I like the simple, clean design. It gets right to the point. We have Skull integrated and featured on this platform, which I love as we're looking to really, get more involved with them. We can showcase the Skull merch as well. There's a handful of different products here that are, I've bought a handful of them and I'm looking to buy many more. As you guys know, I'm a Fennec fanatic and I love this kind of stuff. So, many different products that can be worked into people, into their lives, I should say, things that they may find interesting or appealing, fun to wear, all that kind of stuff, like every particular kind of custom, maybe not custom, but like what I'm getting at is the products are so diverse at this phase of our development that it almost is kind of like a custom set of merchandise. It's almost that accommodative to the user. Any particular thing that they would like to wear to, essentially support the brand, in my opinion, and also, enjoy being an enthusiast of the project. So if we go to the remainder of the products, again, guys, touching on the Toby the Fennec series, there's potential for all kinds of. Look, it's a brand that's building a solid, slow and steady reputation, guys. So they are potentially, this is a reach. I just want you guys to know what's possible, right? Look at this. Look at the general design of the cartoons. And I would say with an animation artist that could, genuinely animate these kinds of pictures, turn them into motion pictures, a TikTok series of different short stories and things like that on TikTok. When we find the means to get somebody who's experienced and, very competent in, generally taking advantage of the algorithmic functions on TikTok, I think we could get our concept, on a lot of eyes. And, there's nothing wrong with, having this slow, steady approach. I think as we grow to scale, there could be, a lot of logic in taking things to the TikTok sector and improving, the awareness, or at least like increasing the awareness of the brand in general. So guys, my hat is truly tipped off to these guys. Everything they've created, this is an offshoot of the Fennec entity. They have supported us in getting an education and taking the necessary steps to create Fennec Foundation, which is a nonprofit entity. Anybody that has a particularly, involved engagement, right, with Fennec, if they want to support the brand, if they want to support the entity, if they want to support anything that we're doing in particular, any other business has the opportunity. As far as I can tell, a lot of these things I would like to have full, undoubted confirmation on. But this brand was developed, with the planned and executed model of donating a percentage of their net profit to the Fennec Foundation, which has to be, held within that nonprofit organization. So anything that organization wants to do with the donations has to support the entity. There's no kind of profit that can be derived from those donations. So many different companies, as the brand builds, as people seek representation from a brand like this, or an entity like this, as we grow to scale, is capable of contributing and getting endorsement from our brand and from our cryptocurrency project, any of the utilities that we build over time. This logo, in my opinion, is extremely, extremely appealing, brandable. It can build a reputable, serious reputation. With that said, we have an aspect of the appealing, like, meme type of art. But if we want to step into becoming a more serious brand, the logo speaks for itself, guys. We can really go either way. I'd like that we have that adaptability, that flexibility, I guess is a better way to put it. And with that, guys, look, the platform is great. If you want to pick up, small piece of merch, kind of ease your way in, see what you like, and, kind of test the quality of the products. I love them. I have, quite a few, to be honest with you. Many of the shirts, the mugs, like one of the clocks, the blanket. I really do like their stuff. It's very high quality, and it's, I guess custom in the sense that we are branding ourselves on these products. So it's definitely custom merch in that sense. And I'm looking forward to you guys giving us feedback on what you think of some of the different products. I'm not going to go too far into that at the moment. See if I can pull up Skull real quick as a partner. I guess, let's see. Skull token. Let's see. Solana, Pulse, Ethereum. Let's see if we can pull something up with Skull. Here we go. Okay. So this is their play to earn platform. They've got so many utilities in place, guys. I'm not going to make it a huge partnership video, but a few of these things are necessary to just, get the basic idea of what value potentially lies within the Fennec project. Because look, the more I've been involved with these guys, the more I have been aggressively pairing liquidity with them. And it goes without saying, I think we're going to try to negotiate pairing some of the treasury, considerable amount of Fennec, potentially up to 50,000 additional Fennec during this incremental increase in our pairing with Skull, with more to potentially come. But we want to get that initial 50,000 additional Fennec contribution toward the pair implemented, because, guys, they have a lot of stuff going for them. I'll bet if I just click the white paper, it's, it's going to be very comprehensive. Here we go. It's the Git book. The Git book has everything, guys. I look, I can link to the video where I generally review this ecosystem, but it's extremely, extremely, elaborate, sophisticated, all-encompassing, multiple revenue streams, many opportunities to get major adoption. And we're featured on their site, which is phenomenal, right? And we have an extensive layout of how we hope to integrate. I'm very excited about it. I mean, look, you can't write this much stuff, as the team. without knowing, how we can fit in, right? So there's a lot of info here, a lot to review. If you guys are interested, check the URL right here, skull.gitbook.io/skull/r-partners/Fennec. So if you see this, kick the video up to a high resolution and pause it real quick, grab this address. Should take you a couple seconds to type in, or just go to skull.gitbook.io. Look everything over. I mean, we are going to have a thick pair with these guys, looking to have maybe 0.5 to 1% of our supply paired with Skull. So that's going to, enhance our liquidity in many ways. They're a very promising project, in my opinion. And beyond that, they have their own extremely, thick liquidity web, very diverse as well, accounting for all aspects of the market, including blue chips, and then also some of the smaller market cap stuff that they believe has potential, similarly to Fennec. I'm sure they're paired with all their partners and many more projects. So that is really cool. And let's see, we've got liquidity pool pairs. Let's see what they got. I've looked at this in previous videos, guys, but this is a layout of their current pairs. And I'm extremely excited to know that as we pair with Skull, we are literally integrated into this web, and every component of the web is affecting every other component. So they stabilize each other, and more importantly, they stabilize Fennec. So very excited about that as well. Now, let's see, if we go deeper, I think we would be getting into the philosophical implications of what Fennec is and what I want it to be. So, with that said, I'm just going to pull up the general data about Fennec, our history, which would be best exemplified, in my opinion, at the moment by, our 2-year chart on ZegX. This is our history with ZegX. We had a great start with them, not in terms of price. I mean, obviously we had some kind of run up, and, my comments are, I guess I would say, neutral about all this kind of stuff. This has been a very long time coming, and full disclosure, right? I'm a guy in my late 20s that has just had experience in crypto, didn't particularly have the capital or all the connections on the front end. But as this project has been playing out, I have always represented it. I've always, supported it, always endorsed it, and participated in surrounding aspects of our ecosystem. Met a lot of great people, including Skull, their team, like including the people that have, created Fennec Productions Inc. These people have faith in my philosophy. They have faith in my conscience, my ethics. I am one of the main engines of the project at the moment. But I would like to say that there are many others that are participating in basically deciding our fate and supporting the best fate that we can have, or the best outcome that we can have in terms of like the next several months when these revenue streams begin to increase. Look, we want a web just like what these guys got going on right now. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, when we have that, we have something that is moving with the market and is funded by the market. Because when we have our pairs in place, similarly to Skull's liquidity web, let me see if I can pull that up real quick, though. Just a sec. I had it a minute ago. I know I did. Let's see. It's probably up here a little farther. There we go. So when we have something similar to this, and we're able to kind of move things around as we see fit with the market, it gives us a direct access to some of the value of all this surrounding stuff. We can make different pools thinner and thicker depending on what we see going on in the market. We could have a whole separate administration that manages our liquidity web as the market moves. I mean, if Fennec does grow and the pool is successful, and then we have different means of, getting an online presence as we build a community that believes in the same concept, sees the value of a liquidity web, the sustainability of having a universal mining pool to earn revenue, in addition to any other potential ideas that we have. I mean, guys, this to me is a 5 to 7 year roadmap that I would like to make mentally. I can't really provide one that is, well defined, because there are so many potential options right now. Our pending partnership with Pulse Trends, as Skull has, integrated with them, and we're learning more about them from them, trying to see where we fit on a rapport and general personality compatibility level with some of the heads of Pulse Trends. I'm very excited to know that their first impression of our project and our team was very good. They want to learn more. They want to see how they can get involved, and basically get some sort of outreach to the proof of work and mining communities, proof of work coin enthusiasts and the miners on our side of the industry, on our side of the cryptocurrency sector. We're going to kind of find a way to bring them into the EVM side with Skull, and then a more sophisticated kind of group like Pulse Trends that are multi-project, multifaceted. If you want to learn more about them, feel free to hop in the Telegram chat and ask us about Pulse Trends. At the moment, the partnership is pending, but we're really looking good, really looking to integrate further. So awesome news on that front. It's a major victory for us on a networking side. They have many people that are extremely active, consistent, and educated about what's relevant in this industry. So it sounds like a lot of big words. You break it down and you realize I'm painting the picture of our future. And I'm looking to increase a little bit of the corporate operations side because all that stuff's been established. We have people with other companies that I know personally that are looking to get involved on some level. If we can, basically sort out everything that goes with, basically making the most out of the tax code in my native country. And, I do live in the United States and there's a lot of flexibility in the tax code. So as we work that out and find an ethical and sustainable means of receiving donations, we're looking to, use a lot of that to grow to scale. I'm here to stay, guys. If you like the way that I come off, if you think that I have potential to learn a lot more about this industry, and if you know that I'm strapped to Fennec and I really want to carry it with me, because in a way, I feel the need to personally, and I love it. I mean, it's a challenge for me. It's an experience for me. Now, for you guys, it's essentially an asset that you would hope is fruitful, right? So it doesn't matter too much about my personal journey, but what I will say is that as I am currently in the heart of this thing and I'm seeing limitless options, a lot of potential that, we have built over time through networking, our base community, our core community has some really solid holders that have consistently been taking up a portion of the supply that see our vision, that know us, at our root. And everybody's had access to, getting to know the team, and we'll always provide, an extended hand to those that would like to learn more. So very excited about, these aspects of, what the team wants to do, our general attitude and philosophy toward growing. Like the rubber will meet the road. We are making these pairs. We are building out the pool. We have, as I would have hoped to mention, but have not at this point. Let's see, multi-chain. Let's see if we can pull this up. No, that's a browser. So let's see if we can get it pulled up here. One moment, guys. Multi-chain accessibility. Let's go to Telegram desktop. Let's see if we can pull this up so I can have it in the video. Give me 1 sec, guys. I'll be right back. I'm gonna check this out, see if I can get this picture. Okay, guys, so I'm back. You can see with the timestamp, it took me a couple of minutes, but what we were looking at here, guys, we were touching on cross-chain integration briefly, and what I decided is that I wanted a visual representation, and I think that these images, I'm going to scroll through them real quick, and we'll go through them a little more, in depth as we go. These are all basically going to be sections of the updated website. So, let's get to it from the beginning. I'm going to drop a couple comments about where I see the project at with each of these areas. Let's see. Oh, we have a few actually. Okay, let me go. I'll start with the cross chain. But I try to put them in order. So anyway, with that said, we see the Arbitrum and the BSC and the Ethereum logos being featured here. We definitely could replace these with a couple. I mean, I'm thinking Pulse Chain Solana right here, and Base Chain. So that's the Coinbase derivative of the Ethereum with lower fees. And with that said, guys, cross-chain integration. We have spoken about the liquidity web before. I'm not going to go too far into it, but it's almost convenient that our graphic designers set this up with kind of a webbing setup, because that web, with each network that we claim, we're finding new communities, new people that are interested in those chains that would also, see potential in Fennec. I mean, just the fact that people have to mine the coin, it almost drives liquidity into the coin in a sense, because the people's expenses for mining are a form of value that are being contributed, which drives scarcity and basically drive a sense of value for the coins. They cost money to generate. The longer that the price or the general value of Fennec is higher and there's more competition to mine coins, those people are less willing to take losses and sell at a lower price than the electricity cost of the coin. So when people on these other chains, they see that they have a token that's compatible with their chain, has the partnerships that we do, and additionally, has a thick, dense liquidity web that is ever growing with the fee structures that are in place. And they have instant accessibility to it on their preferred chain, and their chain and the people that are basically involved with that chain are free to produce new pairs to support their assets or to support Fennec. Either way, I mean, it can be a mutual thing. So with that said, there's almost endless possibilities for Fennec to integrate with new smart contract compatible or built, like fundamentally built within like a smart contract utilization environment. Let's put it that way. These guys can have all sorts of different dApps. I think they call them like decentralized or DeFi apps or something like that. With integration on these chains, our token itself is not initially going to have a sophisticated smart contract that has its own particular functions beyond the tax functions and general compatibility with any particular DEX or decentralized exchange platform. These are fundamental aspects of what makes a token in many cases. We're going to have that level of smart contract sophistication initially, and we can easily look into maybe adding some more sophistication to it in the future. It starts with networking, and we have to find developers that we trust. That's the key. Anybody can offer you a developer contact, but it takes a lot of rapport, trust building to know that you're in good hands with those guys. And we have the means of finding people that can verify authenticity of developers that are doing things beyond our network's capabilities. They can still tell that things are being ethically done, safely done, all those sorts of things. So these connections do help. And, honestly are a portion of the value that Fennec has. And that's within my network, and that's within the partners networks that we have. And when you really add it up and you see the people that they know that are accessible as well, we have quite a bit to tap into. And, it's crazy to think that the market cap is where it is. So, we'll have tutorials on buying Fennec for people that, basically want to know how to get it on different chains. A lot of people are accustomed to simply knowing the smart contract address and plugging it into their DEX. And then if people want the native asset, we'll probably produce tutorials on bridging it properly and securing the actual native chain Fennec, which I will always prefer having. I think it's just the bottom line, and it is the most secure, stable, and timeless form of the Fennec asset. So things can change, chains can become obsolete, but the Fennec chain itself will always likely reign supreme in terms of being the most used, the most preferred, and essentially just considered the most genuine form of the Fennec derivative, I guess I would say, because the coin is a derivative of the entity in a sense. And then the tokenized Fennec is a derivative of the native chain coin. So these are things we'll be happy to go into, make tutorials on. Hopefully, as time passes, I'll be much more concise about creating these tutorials. I'll do practice runs, and I'll boil it down to the meat and potatoes of what needs to be said. So I'm looking forward to that. And at the moment, I'm just commenting freely. We're just going over things. So I have no problem with the time limit. I think people that actually want to see this stuff will. And it'll be a great sort of thing to look back on as we actually achieve these kind of features, plans, partnerships within the project. Those that are truly Fennec fanatics will probably take a lot of pleasure in looking at knowing that these videos are out at the set date and time. That we were reaching for this stuff, and at some point in the future we're definitely confident that we'll be achieving this stuff. So that's exciting as well. About us, we have an extensive section on the site that we're creating at the moment that will talk a lot about the values and the fundamentals that built out the infrastructure that we have today. So I think this is the first. Let me see, is this the last? Yeah, so we already covered partners pretty extensively at the moment. These are logos and media. I would prefer we get this redone to have like a genuine Fennec Fox, but again, we don't discriminate over here. And the traditional red, like American Fox, this could be an international breed. I don't know if they're over in Europe and like different regions. However, I don't want to go too far into that. My main point is, this is a fine representation of like the logos media page. So, we might have a little offshoot for this channel, a few other relevant channels that support us over time. The logos are going to be freely available on the site in multiple sizes, configurations, colors. It would be clips. A lot of the promotional clips that we have are going to be available for download in the form of a zip file on the site. So anybody that wants to make content for Fennec is going to have more than enough of the logo derivatives and the media that we've produced, to continue doing that. So, that's a great thing as well. That's going to be freely available. Mining, we already talked about it in the sense that it's a whole nother layer of sophistication in any particular project that is proof of work. So, as we expand and as we, network more, it's a general point of appeal to people that buy EVM chain or smart contract type tokens and stuff, or Solana tokens. None of those tokens have this feature. When people recognize that their asset on their preferred chain is actually backed by, another type of cryptocurrency, native asset, that is not like just a derivative token, and it's genuinely being produced by force, by effort, and by expense, electricity cost. And all these people have to be well versed on how to get their machines set up. They have to basically own the machine. They have to see the value of basically generating a Fennec coin over any other particular coin, realizing that there's hundreds of people already globally mining Fennec, at a break even. At the moment, when it becomes profitable, people will flock in, so it's great because it's a whole nother group of people that are getting aware of the coin, that are, honestly separated from the traditional, or at least, modern, let's say modern, because really mining is traditional for crypto. In my opinion, being here for 7 years, the proof of work stuff was dominating the market for a while. But with that said, it's just another layer of complexity that does drive value to the project, and new people that can learn more about our partners, and all the EVM chain stuff is going to be news to them. So it makes for an exciting information hub. We're hoping to build out with Pulse Chain, or Pulse Trends, kind of an educational platform. And considering that we are a unique aspect of their partnership, or pending partnership list, and we offer this aspect of crypto to their enterprise or their entity, that definitely helps. So, there is that appeal standpoint, the aspect of backing value for the project, and the fact that the project was designed to drive scarcity on the mining side, reduces the selling pressure and potential liabilities that come with being a proof of work coin, which aren't honestly too extensive, especially the way we've set it up. But, additionally, people that see the value in Fennec and are speculating through their mining, and acquiring the coin when it is profitable, break even, worthy of doing, these people, a lot of them are likely to hold as well. Some of them instantly sell at a profit, and, that's their prerogative, but it's usually minimal with a project like ours. Depending on the potential, people are a lot less willing to sell in the first place. So all these sort of values build into each other, make it a more promising concept for anybody, coming in. So the FAQ section, we got the frequently asked questions. As you can see, I really want to have this section, but we're gonna need to build out a new set of questions, because the ones on our current site as of today, which should not be up for long, are not exactly up to date with what we have done and what we plan to do. The questions have already been answered fundamentally in the project's demonstration of value. So what we put out speaks for itself. Those questions are obsolete. So we will probably drive a new effort to have relevant questions that not only give the viewer an understanding of Fennec and, give a supportive type of implicate, or, provide support to educating people. We also want those critical questions that truly are challenges for Fennec to overcome, because we can explain plans of doing so to further integrate and drive value to this entity. So, with that said, we got the specifications. I could go into it, to be honest. I think a lot of it will be on the site, and I guess I've been at it for a minute, but you know what? Let me see. I don't have the images of the draft handy at the moment, but I will say that a lot of Fennec has been deliberately set up the way that it is to optimize its odds of being a recognized, reputable, and well-known cryptocurrency. So, that's a great thing in my opinion, because the specifications can be modified, but it's usually every couple of years. I think between the pre-mine being organized the way that it has, all the details will be on the site, which is great. The block time, the transactions per second, the FRC20 compatibility, due to the fact that it's a Bitcoin fork, are going to give us an NFT ecosystem with time as we find the developers to create that update, or at least implement that sort of component to Fennec. There may be derivative tokens that can be launched on the Fennec chain. The transactions per second are going to drive up the transaction fees. That's going to compensate the miners that are supporting the network further, because every block that is found with a high fee, that fee goes to the miners. So that aspect of, the mining being scarce is going to actually be compensated from activity and engagement on the chain. The slightly lower transactions per second, similarly to Litecoin, hypothetically, if it's not like a separate kind of Lightning Network sort of chain, I'm gonna have to look into the fundamentals of BRC20. But if it's running on the same chain, as I have heard, which drives up the fees, that's going to support the miners out there. So, as things get, a little more active, those miners will have an additional form of compensation for showing support. So, we try to basically provide a benefit on the specifications that has a cost that can be mitigated in the future as the chain becomes, reputable and adopted. So these things all change. The costs and benefits of the specs are going to adjust, not due to us making direct adjustments to the specs, but because the specs take on a different behavior as the chain adapts and grows. So, that aspect of things I love. I guess the emissions have been discussed through mining, as I was going to initially get into, but we've done that. I like the name, I like the animal, I like the logo. That's an aspect of the specs too, right? Trying to think of any specs that come to mind that I really take pride in at the moment. The pre-mine is a big one though. There's a lot to get into with that. I think a lot of it's been explained on the site. And honestly, a project like this that's been around, stood the test of time, maybe been dormant at different periods, but held true to their word in terms of what they want to do and how they want to orchestrate those plans. I mean, we have essentially filtered out people that didn't recognize the fundamentals that were going to be timeless for Fennec. So we have, essentially, I started this out on my own as an experiment, to be honest with you, and it's taken a life of its own, and I'm very excited about it. So with that said, I was a one-man show initially, really pulling this from a shoestring operation into a real enterprise, as far as I can tell, as far as I feel at the moment. I would say we have about 25 people that are tightly integrated, interested, devoted, and faithful to the Fennec project. Beyond that, we have the exterior community of holders that, chime in and do their thing and, have their considerable amount of Fennec on an individual basis. They have decent holdings as well, but those people are silently observing and recognizing what we're doing, and they may or may not want to directly engage with the community. But I would say, given that we have 25 to 30 people that are a part of this, that really want to build this and are passionate about it, we have taken 2 years to reestablish and distribute a supply in a very helpful way, in the sense that the people that are remaining are truly the diamond-handed types, and truly the helpful types. And I'm talking about the other 500 people in the Telegram group, but then that core 30 are looking to plan, are looking to advise, are looking to support, are looking to expand the Fennec entity and the cryptocurrency. So in 2 years' time, we've multiplied, in my opinion, our potential by a factor of 30 because we have that additional support. And that's a major achievement when you consider everything that's happened and our history. And if you dig into it all, it almost feels like it was done on purpose, but circumstance, fundraising, budgeting, planning, and like I said, lifestyle circumstance or life circumstance, life-changing events, all those things played a part and affected the team in different ways that kept us from, directly driving momentum into the project and, expanding, networking, but I've done it quite a bit in the background on my own. The remainder of the team, well, including myself, collectively, we are truly stepping up at this time. So, I would say anybody watching this, I would highly recommend that they, stick around to the end, which is coming up pretty soon. But it's a great set of insights for somebody that's interested in this project because we have these meme-like animals representing the Fennec entity right now. We could step into the gaming sector through implementing different kind of crypto rewards, tipping functions and stuff on the instantly transferred smart contract tokenized derivatives of Fennec that are going to be much more compatible with that software. I think it's let's see, might be Runestone. There is a major, gaming aspect of Skull. I think our logo is very suitable and compatible with that kind of thing. Our integration there is going to be considerable. So, with that said, we have the meme appeal, but we could take the gamer serious appeal as the brand grows and evolves. So we're looking at here, user wallets. I want many tutorials on this. We have several different options for people that want to store the native chain Fennec, which I love at the moment. But I want to get the community unified about the best solution for every particular user about how to handle and store their native chain Fennec. So, that's important to me. And we got it right here. And we're going to have an extensive outline for the users to check out on the site. The roadmap, man, I would say, honestly, there's a lot to it at the moment that I'm kind of working with. But it's so hard to know. It's so hard to know as we're revising the roadmap exactly, which direction we should imply that we're heading in, because the options that we're presented with have so many offshoots that we almost have too many opportunities at the moment. So I think the roadmap is going to emphasize that we're planning. We have these things in front of us. We're going in whichever direction, benefits Fennec the most. With loyalty and compassion in mind. But at the same time, we're definitely looking to move in the right direction. And we're on that path at the moment, clearly, in my opinion, which is great. But, with that said, we're a think tank in a sense. We're looking to get people together that are creative, that can improvise, that are flexible, that have connections, that have capabilities. It's a lot of buzzwords at the moment, but as we draft more and more ideas, more and more utilities and revenue streams, the roadmap will likely be updated from the abstract form that it'll be when we push the new update out. But the main premise is going to be that we have all these potential ideas. You build it and they will come. That's got to be a developer's mindset. That's got to be a community manager's mindset. And for me as the chief operating officer, Fennec Foundation, which supports this entity, completely. I truly need to recognize and maintain the concept that I have the value that Fennec needs. This is more of a personal note. I have the value that Fennec needs from me in terms of ideas, flexibility, networking, maintenance, and development of the Fennec entity from where I stand. The remainder of the support exists within the core community that we have. That is absolutely, in my opinion, profound for Fennec because it redirects, recalibrates, and refocuses the majority of the energy that we have needed straight to development, and people are going to see that vision. They're going to recognize what we have here already. And even if a few of the dots may need connected, which I don't think too many of them do at the moment, to be honest with you. But if they see a gap that they want to fill, they're going to be confident that filling it is going to provide them value and is going to support Fennec as a whole. So it's going to be a fairly abstract roadmap, but the premise and the philosophy is going to be that if we continue building, they're going to keep coming. We have these potential offshoots and opportunities to run with, and we're just going to keep moving. So I think that's a phenomenal roadmap, especially starting out at this point. You don't want to promise things that are too specific, not just from a timing standpoint or a general effectiveness standpoint, but you don't want to limit yourself and you don't want to assume that certain things are going to happen when you only have so many options in that moment. So to me, we have so many options right now, so much real tangible stuff. We don't need some kind of fake roadmap. So I'm super excited to produce that, get it out there, see what people think. I really have a feeling they're going to love it. This is going to be a shining aspect of the Fennec website. So team wallets, we're going to have an extensive breakdown of what the treasury is going to be purposed for, how we're going to stay accountable about it, what kind of systems are in place for, user and investor confidence, and, generally just tracking those treasury wallets so that people know what everything is, where it's going, what it's doing, why it's there, and what kind of potential it has, because we're looking at this on a major macro scope, right? We're not looking to use this treasury anytime soon. Fennec, in my opinion, and with my conviction and devotion to it, in addition to the other 30 people that are here, it's got a lot of potential. And to deplete the treasury prematurely as we approach some of those major milestones, man, it would be a crime. It would be a tragedy. So I see the treasury being a phenomenal asset for the project as a whole. It's going to be potentially, if we scale into the corporate sector and have some real engagement with business owners, I think Fennec could reach a valuation where it is not sold, but instead borrowed against temporarily for funding for future development. That's another profound statement. I mean, if you can have a valuable enough coin, now I'm not saying anybody's going to profit. I'm not saying anybody should expect value, exclusively built out by the team, because that's not what we're here to do. We're here to actually foster the community that's capable of offering ideas, contributing in the form of donations that fundraise for these future operations, enabling the team to do their thing, but it's supported and essentially sustained by the core community, by the exterior community, and generally the community as a whole. So the core community is very different from the core team. The core team is not, we can't be expected to drive profit. This is a community effort. We have a ton of things in front of us, a lot of potential value, but that needs to be a clear point in this video. So with that said, I think the treasury could become valuable enough with time, with consistency, with community effort, to be an asset that would be borrowed against as collateral for funding with interest from an enterprise or bank or anything like that, or just a particular wealthy individual, or, they don't even have to be wealthy. If the terms all meet and everything's okay, this asset could be borrowed against for future expansion. It may not necessarily need to be sold. And if any portion of the treasury is sold, we have the ride platform. We have the ride platform from Skull. It's going to be an OTC, over-the-counter sales platform, transaction platform for users that want to sell small, large, intermediate quantities of any particular asset that's integrated on their platform. We're not going to have to sell on the chart. We're not going to have to deplete liquidity. This is going to be outside interest coming into Fennec, seeing where we're at and wanting to take a position. OTC, over the counter, has nothing to do with the chart or liquidity pools. So, I wouldn't say it's a definite thing. I wouldn't say it's a guarantee that this entire treasury will be sold OTC, but it will be a major priority that things are executed as such. So with that said, we're going to move on a little bit. The white paper, guys, this is a philosophic and technical document, right? We're getting into what drives Fennec, what motivates it, in addition to what we're building. So we've talked about multi-chain. We've talked about Skull. We've talked about FPI. We're talking about, their potential to drive value to us. We're looking at a universal mining pool. We're trying to educate people in the midst of all of our operations, and as we expand into potentially having an educational platform. Now, I haven't mentioned that. That's far in the future if we decide to do it. But these things are on the table. I'm open-minded to everything. And there's multiple people that are definitely looking to do this full time, with the right opportunities and situations, circumstances. So we have a ton of potential. There's honestly 30 people like looking to do something and make something that they're proud of, that they appreciate, and that they can network within. I mean, if this is an information hub and if it's a promising, reputable and established thing in the cryptocurrency industry, we're going to find great people. We're going to learn a ton of things that we don't already know. We have reach into every sector right now with what's in front of us. We're looking at FRC20 NFTs in the coming months. We're looking at potentially implementing master nodes to get some of the proof of stake guys over here. Now that would be a major switch up, but Fennec will still be mined. A portion of the rewards might be redistributed to master node holders, but it won't be the majority. I will tell you that the miners will drive the majority of the emission possession and distribution. So with that said, we could potentially be a hybrid proof of work, proof of stake chain. That would get another set of people involved, and they would all be educating and networking with each other. Fennec would be the center of that. I am very excited to see that happen if circumstances permitting. These sort of aspirations will be mentioned in the white paper. We'll go into the fundamentals of the functionality of the native chain, the potential for it. I guess there's a lot to unpack in the white paper. Everything I've mentioned is essentially a foreshadowing of how the white paper will be drafted, finalized, and presented to the community. So with that said, guys, we are through the general sections of the website that's upcoming. I wanted to go into the partners as I did in the beginning, but this is a really phenomenal kind of timestamp of where we're at and what's driving the core community. So I'm very, very happy to have all this in front of us. I think it's going to be a phenomenal couple of years for Fennec. Anybody that's watching this that may have a particular interest, hopefully will consider as we gear up. I think, currently with an $80,000 market cap, saying we're severely undervalued, I guess I'll leave it to somebody else to make that statement. Here's our history. I don't know where we're heading, but we're gearing up. So that should be something that I guess the intelligent investor and community member would want to get behind and learn more about. So the team is easily accessible, especially through Telegram. You can comment on our Twitter, YouTube, or this YouTube channel. I'll be happy to forward the information to the remainder of the core community. You hop into Telegram. A lot of us are so personable. We'll hop on a voice call with you and talk with you. So, it's a true grassroots community effort and operation, and I'm extremely proud to be a part of it. This is the Fennec Factual YouTube channel. And guys, thank you for tuning in. Now, if I have the section switched, I might add a clip explaining that I'm going into mostly the partners. I might move a few things around, so we'll see how it ends up. This is the end of this section of the recording. So thank you for tuning in, regardless of where this falls into the video, and have a good day. Thank you.